Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to take you through an exciting and intense erotic thriller and horror film called Strange Darling. Be ready for some big spoilers, so stay alert and buckle up. This movie is told in 6 mixed up chapters, so things get wild right from the start. Let's dive in. The movie begins with some important words that tell us about a busy serial killer who was active from 2018 to 2020. Chapter 3, Can You Help Me Please? The story takes place in Oregon, where a young blonde woman known as the Lady is in big trouble. She is driving her car when a scary serial killer called the Demon starts chasing her in his pickup truck. Suddenly, he stops and shoots at her with a rifle. The lady crashes her car and quickly jumps out, running away into the dark woods. Once she's hidden away, she takes a moment to take care of her wound because one of her ears has been taken away. After that, she keeps hiding and looking for a safe place to escape from the terrible man. The lady keeps running through the woods, always looking over her shoulder as the demon follows her silently like a shadow. After a while, she spots a small house in the distance where an older couple lives. Feeling hopeful, she rushes to their door and knocks, begging them for help. Chapter 5, Here, Kitty, Kitty. The lady is now hiding inside a big chest freezer, trying to stay quiet. Meanwhile, the demon is searching for her inside the couple's house, making everything feel even scarier. In the kitchen, Frederick lies lifeless on the floor, and Genevieve is nowhere to be seen. The demon fires his gun at several chests, but he can't find her. Then he comes to the freezer. Suddenly, he shoots into it. The loud bang makes the lady scream, and he knows she is inside. Chapter 1, Mr. Snuffles. The story takes us back to the beginning of the lady and the demon's strange meeting. They have come together for a one-night adventure, and the lady, with her bright red hair, is asking the demon to try some exciting BDSM play with her. They park outside a motel, but before going in, the lady has an important talk with the demon. She warns him about the dangers women face when getting into these kinds of situations. Curious, she asks him if he is a serial killer. He laughs and quickly says no. Feeling a little more relaxed, they start to kiss and share some beers and cigarettes, enjoying their time together. Once inside the room, the lady asks the demon to tie her to the bed and gently choke her. At first, everything feels exciting, but when he tries to start having sex, she firmly says no. The demon gets angry and ties her up again, slapping her across the face while making scary threats about what he might do next. Seeing this, the lady's eyes fill with tears, and she quickly says the safe word, Mr. Snuffleupagus. The demon stops and starts to apologize, realizing he might have gone too far. But then, the lady surprises him by laughing and admitting that she was actually enjoying it. Just as they are about to continue, the lady suddenly gets a quick glimpse of something terrifying about the demon that makes her heart race. Chapter 4, The Mountain People. Frederick and Genevieve are happily enjoying a delicious breakfast together, laughing and chatting, when suddenly there's a loud banging on their door. It's the lady, looking scared and desperate for help. They quickly let her in and take a look at her injured ear, giving her some bandages to help her feel better. As they sit down to eat, Genevieve goes to find some medicine, while Frederick picks up the phone to call the police for help, but the lady pleads with him not to call, looking frightened. Just then, Genevieve hears a loud noise and Frederick yelling. Worried, she rushes into the kitchen, only to find the lady has stabbed Frederick in the chest with a knife and hit him with the phone. Frederick falls to the floor, lifeless, and the lady turns to Genevieve, demanding she fetch some supplies because she remembers Genevieve saying they are doomsday preppers. The demon suddenly shows up at the couple's house, looking for the lady. Panicking, Genevieve quickly runs out the back door and into the dark woods, hoping to escape. Meanwhile, the lady hears the noise and knows she has to hide. She jumps into the cold chest freezer, holding her breath and praying that the demon doesn't find her. Chapter 2, The Electric Lady. In the hotel room, the lady and the demon are kissing and having a wild time. She pulls out a small bag of white powder and suggests they snort some coke together, but soon after, the demon starts to feel sick and decides he needs to leave the room. Just as he tries to get up, he goes completely still, and the lady quickly drags him back inside. With a sly smile, she reveals that she gave him ketamine to keep him from moving. While he is all sleepy and dazed, the lady takes out a knife and carves the letters EL into the demon's chest. It turns out she is a dangerous serial killer known as the Electric Lady. As she rummages through his things, she discovers a badge, which means he's actually a cop. Just when she's about to finish him off, the demon surprises her by grabbing his gun and shooting, blowing off the lady's ear. The lady starts to run as fast as she can and reaches a nearby motel, hoping to find safety. She rushes inside and bumps into the clerk, Libby, and her assistant, Tanya. Just as Libby tells Tanya to call the police for help, the lady quickly pulls out a knife and stabs Libby in the neck. With Libby hurt, the lady turns to Tanya and demands her car keys, threatening her to obey. This shocking moment leads to the wild chase we saw earlier, as the lady desperately tries to escape her pursuer. Chapter 6. Who's Gary Gilmore? After getting punched in the face, the lady lies unconscious on the floor. The demon, still feeling confused, grabs his phone and calls for help, introducing himself as RC and asking for backup. Just then, the lady starts to wake up and begins to share her story. She explains that she was inspired by a killer named Gary Gilmore and has always wanted to die in a dramatic way, just like he did. With tears in her eyes, she tells the demon that during their wild night together, she was beginning to feel real love for him. As the demon stands up, the lady quickly snatches a can of bear spray and sprays it in his face. He stumbles around, blinded and confused. In a sudden burst of fury, she bites into his neck, tearing out a chunk of flesh and hitting his jugular. Blood spills everywhere, and the demon collapses, bleeding to death on the floor. With a sense of triumph, the lady reaches into his pants leg and grabs his gun, ready for whatever comes next. The demon's police friends, Pete and Gail, rush to the scene, their sirens blaring. The lady, trying to look innocent and scared, plays the victim, acting like she needs help. Gail, being kind-hearted, tries to comfort her and see what's wrong. But Pete is already suspicious of her true intentions. He keeps a close eye on her, wondering if she's hiding something. Despite his doubts, they decide to take the lady with them to get her the help she claims to need. While driving down the road, the cops suddenly spot Genevieve, who looks terrified and is asking for help. Before she can point out the lady sitting in the back, the lady pulls out a gun and shoots Genevieve in the head. With Genevieve now on the ground, the lady turns to Pete and Gail, demanding they hand over their guns. To thank Gail for her earlier kindness, the lady orders her to get out of the car. Gail, confused and scared, quickly obeys. Then, the lady tells Pete to keep driving, taking control of the situation as they speed away from the scene. Epilogue. Pete drives down a quiet road and finally pulls over after the lady tells him to stop. He looks at her with curiosity and asks, "Why do you kill people?" With a cold look in her eyes, the lady replies, "Sometimes I don't see humans, I see devils." Just then, she gets another strange vision like she had with the demon, seeing a frightening red devil figure in her mind. Before Pete can react, she makes a quick move and kills him. Afterward, the lady calmly steps out of the car, leaving everything behind as she disappears into the night. The lady waves down another driver, a woman named Sherry, hoping to play the victim once again. She jumps into Sherry's car, pretending to be scared and asking for help. As Sherry tries to call for assistance, the lady glances at herself in the mirror and suddenly sees a flash of a devil figure. A look of sadness fills her eyes. Feeling the urge to grab her gun, the lady starts to pull it out. But before she can act, Sherry shoots her first. In a panic, Sherry quickly dials 911, explaining that she shot someone in self-defense and is bringing the lady in. As Sherry drives away, the lady begins to feel weak and starts to lose consciousness. Pain washes over her as she slowly fades away, leaving her twisted fate behind. Which movie should we recap next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more movie recaps. Thanks for watching. Produced by Warner Recap.